Hey everyone, welcome to From the Depths. I'm Menti, and this is episode 66 of the Battleship Brawl Season 5 tournament. This episode, the project by Locutus of Borg is continuing on against the Willhelm by Smirnov. Both of them starting out a little bit low, but we'll get this underway and both ships will come up. And we will see how this battle goes. Willhelm seems it's a bit more compact than the the project. Project looks like it might be a little bit thinner, but longer. So not sure. It's pretty close, one way or the other. Willhelm taking some hits to its belt, some fragments ripping off some barrels, and some explosive shells bouncing off and being useless. One of them actually managed to hit here and detonate, though, and take out this turret. So, you know, good on that shell. So could you imagine how much more effective the ship would be if it didn't have 4 shells sinking into the water uselessly? But HP-wise, the project is actually behind just by a little bit, though. A little bit over 1% HP. Two of its secondary guns in the rear here have been blown off. Oh, that barrage might take out some more. Well, looks like those secondaries survived, but this main gun has lost all of its barrels. Has been disabled. This one lost one of its 3. HP gap has evened out a little bit. Less than 1% difference between them now. The Willhelm lost one of its frontal turret caps here. That's definitely going to be a bit of an equalizing factor. And yeah, there we go. The project has taken the lead. Those shells look like they're going to miss. Yep, well, one of them clipped the bow. Project took some barrel damage to one of those frontal guns, but it's still functioning. Oh, some of these secondaries have been disabled. Oh, the bow of the Willhelm, I'm sorry, the project there, getting hammered pretty hard, almost breaking it off. Down to 93% to 94%. So the project took a lead there for a moment and then lost it again. Those shells hitting very close to getting something critical. Could actually see in there and barely get a glimpse at some of the components of that turret. Another barrage to that spot will probably knock that gun out. Shells hitting in the center of the project. Some more coming in. Oh, that one almost skipped over, but managed to blow a hole in the top of the deck there. Project still sailing on despite its decent amount of damage. But really, like the hull itself of the project, except for, you know, the bow up here, is actually looking in decent shape. I mean, it's not great. You know, having holes in the side of your ship is bad, but, you know, like if you were to come out to a distance, The only thing you really notice is that big ol' hole in the bow. The rest of it looks fine. It's mostly gun damage. You know, this turret being disabled, these turrets being disabled, some of these things being popped off. That's where most of the project's missing HP is. Whatever the case, the project is just about out of materials. It has 2 materials left, so that's, you know, 2 wooden blocks, or... Yep, and there it goes. So it will not be healing any further. And it is currently at a deficit against an enemy that has materials left to repair with. Not a good situation to find yourself in. Willhelm is just not taking a whole lot of damage from the project. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, I mean, okay. The bow just got beaten up here a little bit, but... I mean, if you pull out those, it looks like there's even less damage to the Willhelm than there is to the project. Which, I mean, there is. That's why it has less HP. That's why the project has less HP, but... yeah, things are not looking good for the project right now. But it is only fighting for survival points, and being at 86.7% health 5 minutes in is, you know, looking pretty good for getting some of them survival points. Not sinking is basically what the project wants to do right now. Willhelm is having a little bit of trouble landing its shots. That'll certainly do some damage. That'll knock down some HP, but... not really affecting the operations of the ship. But then again, losing HP is what, what the project wants to avoid. The less HP it loses, the more points it gets. I mean, damage from the project is important, because the more damage it can do, the less damage it will take in return. Because, you know, you knock out the enemy's weapons, they can't really hurt you back, and, I mean, you get more survival points that way. Ooh, that rear turret just got beat up quite a bit. I'm not sure if that one... I don't remember if that one was active before and it just got disabled, or if it was already disabled. I think it was still active. Looks like the only guns that are still active, though, are maybe one barrel of the secondary and then 2 barrels of this main gun up front here. I don't think this gun is active though. I haven't seen a pure HE shell fly out from the project in a while. Starting to list and lean quite heavily though. She might go down, but she also only has to survive another minute and 45 seconds. Is that right? Do you agree, or was that you disagreeing, huh? Silly dog. As long as the project doesn't sink, it's definitely looking like it's going to, you know, make it to the end of the round here. But that listing is definitely worrying. It's at the point where it can't be disqualified, like it will run out of round time before it gets DQ time. Yeah, I don't know what it is with the Willhelm. It always seems to do a lot of damage early, and then it just kind of stops dealing damage. That's been something I've noticed over the past couple of battles with it. It's like early on, it hits really hard, and then it just kind of peters out. I don't know what that's about. Whatever the case, that is round 1 complete. The project surviving with 69.5% HP. We'll go ahead and get things restarted, and that'll be our baseline. If the project dips below that and doesn't have anything to repair with left, then we'll just move on to the next round at that point. It's not going to affect the score. Alright, here we go. Round 2 underway, and hey, it's possible the Willhelm could do a lot more damage a lot more quickly if its frontal, like, because it lost 2 of its front guns there, and that's like nearly half its firepower. Let's see, it's got 5 3-barreled guns, that's 15, and it lost 6 of them. And see, this is wood. The top of the superstructure is wood. And that explosive shell just bounced off it. Oh, instead of one of the front turrets getting taken out, this rear one got hit instead. This time the Willhelm was getting beat up pretty bad. Oh yeah, it completely lost a turret. Yeah, this gun got blown off right here. I saw that hole and thought it was just superstructure, and then I was like, wait a second, there's only 4 turrets. I just talked about how there were 5 of them. So once again, the Willhelm losing 2 of its 5 guns pretty quickly. But it's also lost a lot of HP. The project's at 99.5. Well, the Willhelm's down to 90% already. those shells actually fall in here and then just, yep, they did. Landed right in here and then just blew up, and oh, that's the engine. Oh no. Oh, I think some AI might have taken some damage as well. The Willhelm gone dead in the water and all of its weaponry disabled. That's a pretty good news for the project. So it might want to slow down on dealing some damage and let it, you know, repair that last 0.4% on its own hull before it finishes off its opponent. And if it does manage to, you know, get a perfect score here, taking out the enemy and it being at 100% health, we won't even run round 3 because there's not a point. It will not affect the scores in this situation, since the Willhelm is DQ'd. And Willhelm's about to get broken in half. Like these beams right in here, only bits holding it together, and they are pretty damaged. Like you can see how dark they are just from taking fragmentation and explosion hits. Ah, but the project has changed targets. I wanted to see it break the Willhelm in half. Oh, the Willhelm is having some buoyancy issues now. And it is under 80%, so if it sinks much further, it's going to get an 80% sinking despawn. Yep, there we go. Alright, that is it for this round, and we're just going to call this the match, because you can't get better than 200 points, which is what the project just scored. There is no point running the third round against this pair. So yeah, that'll make this video a little bit shorter. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the battlefield.